This is the year you get everything you want, and I am claiming it for you. What if a simple 15-minute technique could calibrate your subconscious mind to help you achieve every goal you have for this year with more ease and more alignment? I bet you've never heard of this before, but after today, you'll wonder why more people aren't talking about this. If you're ready to make this the year you remember as the year of your biggest up level, you can apply to work with me using the link in the description. Traditional goal setting barely scratches the surface of how your brain actually creates results. Today, I want to show you a different approach, a technique called Neural Energetic Encoding that helps you plant your goals inside your subconscious timeline so that achieving your goals becomes automatic instead of forced. In this episode, you'll hear what this technique is and what it feels like, why it works from a neuroscience perspective, and how women like you, women who are visionary, self-led, and determined, can use it to accelerate those big, audacious goals. By the end of this episode, I want you thinking to yourself, I have to experience this. I have the pleasure of working with women who are smart, driven, spiritually connected, and hungry to create more. They've already manifested pieces of what they want, and they're certainly not beginners, but they're tired of feeling like they have to push, hustle, and control everything to make their next level happen. Let's get real about why people set goals and don't follow through. Most people set goals with logic and willpower. They write a number, a date, and a loose plan, but they don't get their subconscious mind involved. And that's why people get excited at the beginning of January and they're filled with so much motivation and inspiration to have all year to create their big major results, but by the 20th, they've already given up. What's happened is that they don't activate emotion, imagery, embodiment, or identity. They didn't experience the future outcome in a way that feels safe, familiar, and real to the body. Their brain doesn't recognize the new goal as part of their identity, so that's why they default to old patterns. The problem with traditional goal setting is that it tries to convince your conscious mind, which only leads about 5% of your behavior. It's the subconscious mind that controls 95% of habits, actions, and decisions. So you can't just think your way into a new life, you have to encode it in the subconscious mind. This is why you need a different approach to setting goals this year. Neural Energetic Encoding works with the part of the mind that drives 95% of the results. And if something is driving 95% of your results, wouldn't you be curious to learn how to use it? Why this tool is so effective is because it anchors a goal directly into your subconscious future. Instead of hoping you'll double your income this year, sell out your offer, or confidently deliver a TED Talk, this technique creates a future memory that your brain begins working toward automatically. It's as if your mind is recalling a memory of something that's already happened, even though it's in the future. Think of it like setting your GPS. Once the destination is set, you don't need to think about every turn along the way. Your brain starts scanning for opportunities, the right information, the right timing, and the right action steps that align with the destination. Neural Energetic Encoding doesn't just ask you to visualize, it creates a full sensory, emotionally charged, identity-based experience that your subconscious begins to treat as a familiar reality. Remember what I said about recalling a memory from the past, even though it's in the future? And science backs this up. Studies on mental imagery prove that when an action is vividly imagined through sight, sound, and feeling, the brain lights up the same neural pathways as if you were physically doing the actions. One famous study measured muscle activation in weightlifters who only imagined lifting weights. After 8 weeks of visualization with no actual physical lifting, participants gained up to 44% more strength than those who did nothing. Their brain actually strengthened muscles using imagery alone. Now, imagine using that same neurological mechanism for goals like stepping onto that big red circle on the TED stage to deliver your life-changing talk, signing a celebrity client for your unique consulting, or collaborating with them to promote your product. or even landing global collaborations, or perhaps doubling your business growth. When the subconscious experiences the goal as real, the body follows, the behavior follows, the identity follows, and life starts to rearrange itself around what your subconscious accepts as true. Let me walk you through what the process looks like. Before I encode anything into a subconscious timeline, the goal must be crystal clear in the subconscious, not vague and no cutesy vision board goals. It has to be crystal clear. And no worries here, we go through a very in-depth process of getting clear on your goals before we even do this technique. I ask you questions like, what is the exact moment you'll know your goal happened? What will you see right then? What will you hear? What will you feel in your body? And how will you know that this isn't a dream, but a physical reality? Most goals never manifest because they're blurry, and blurry signals don't get encoded by the subconscious. This step builds the ingredients for the encoding process. Think of it as preparing the raw material so your brain can accept the outcome as something it can actually build. Then we can actually move on to the encoding. Here's the part most people never experience. You don't just visualize the goal, you step inside of it. I guide you through entering your future reality like you're walking through a doorway. You look through your own eyes. You see the environment, you feel the temperature in the room, you hear the specific sounds, you notice what your body is doing. You sense the emotion in your chest, in your belly. Everything becomes real in your mind. Then we refine the experience using submodalities, which are sensory settings, like a dial changing all of the details. And these settings are what your brain uses to code the belief. We adjust the brightness, the volume, the closeness, the texture, the placement, almost like we're tuning a TV until the channel becomes sharp, vibrant, and exactly what you wanted to see. We adjust anything that feels distant or not quite real. And we amplify desire and familiarity until the goal feels obvious to you. Once that future becomes desirable and real enough, your subconscious locks it in. And then we finally move on to the encoding. The last phase is where the magic meets the science. Once the goal is clear, we encode it into your subconscious future at a precise state using a structured, guided experience. It's almost like we're planting a seed in time. You breathe energy into it, you let it expand, and you feel it as truth. Your subconscious at that point begins sending signals backward and forward in time, and you feel a ripple effect, like the timeline is rearranging to support the outcome you want. My clients describe the experience as warmth or tingling, opening in the chest, a sensation like everything just clicked into place, instant mental clarity, and chills or energy flowing through their body, and sometimes even a deep calm like it's done. A certainty of sorts. Your body registers the goal as achieved before your 3D reality catches up. At this point, I always ask clients, what feels different now? And the response is usually something like, I can see how it's going to happen, or I don't feel any resistance towards it, or it already feels real, like it actually happened. When the subconscious accepts something as real, action becomes inevitable and unstoppable. Your flow replaces any force that existed, and your intuition gets louder. The process takes about 15 minutes from start to finish after we've defined your goal. In the days and weeks after experiencing neural energetic encoding, you begin to notice opportunities. You notice you start to receive effortless clarity. You feel guided toward the right next step, and you sink into a deeper trust in timing. You'll start acting like someone who already has the thing that you're manifesting, not because you're pretending that it'll happen, but because your subconscious already accepted the truth of your goal. You notice that you no longer ask, how is it gonna happen? You already feel that it is happening. Let me give you a tangible example of how I've used the technique for myself. When my husband and I were looking for a home, we weren't looking for just any house. We wanted a custom-built home, lakefront, and within our budget, during a time when houses were almost impossible to find. I envisioned the day that we were living in our new home, celebrating the holidays, surrounded by family, and I took the vision through Neural Energetic Encoding. Within 2 months, we found the perfect lakefront lot and we put down a deposit to start construction on our new home. Now, this was during the height of the pandemic housing shortage, yet it unfolded with ease because my subconscious was moving toward what was already encoded as truth. Another time, I encoded the experience of signing a dream client. I didn't know how it would happen because at that time, I wasn't actively promoting my services. I took the vision of what I wanted to experience through Neural Energetic Encoding, and 2 weeks later, a perfect prospect reached out and hired me. Not because I forced it, but because I was already operating as someone who had the client. One of my clients used this same technique to encode her income goal of $300,000, buying her dream home, and expanding her family. She didn't need to hope and pray that these things would happen for her. We programmed her subconscious mind with the right sensory ingredients. And if you're wondering, the beautiful part is that she got everything she envisioned, not instantly and definitely not magically, but through aligned decisions, receptive energy, and nervous system safety that made her desires feel normal instead of impossible. Now, let me be clear and set the record straight. Neural energetic encoding doesn't replace action. You don't encode a TED Talk and then avoid speaking publicly. You don't encode a goal of having $50,000 months and then wait for Stripe to notify you of a payment without you actually selling anything or offering anything to the world. This technique aligns your subconscious mind with your goal, but you still have to move in the 3D. Here's a better analogy. It's like buying a plane ticket to your dream destination, and once you purchase it, the destination becomes inevitable, but you still have to pack. You have to show up, navigate the airport, get on the plane, gather your resources, and plan all of the other logistics around having your desired experience once you get there. Encoding ensures that the destination is real. You taking action is what allows for the experience to actually unfold. So who is this right for? If you're wondering, would this work for me? Can I use Neural Energetic Encoding for my goals this year? Then the answer is yes. This is especially for the woman who knows her dreams aren't random. She feels that her dreams are assignments or a soul contract waiting to be fulfilled. This is for the woman who values strategy. She's intentional about the way she lives her life. She understands work ethic, but she also knows that grit alone won't get her to the next level. She knows her intuition matters as well. Her energy matters, and that working on her mindset is important as well. This woman knows that to accelerate her life, she needs to be open to all of the tools and resources available to her to make her dreams a reality. This woman is certainly not here to settle. She is here to lead. And if after hearing this has you saying, "That's me," then you'll love Neural Energetic Encoding. Traditional goal setting asks your conscious mind to do all of the work. Neural Energetic Encoding activates the 95% of you that actually runs the show. It doesn't just help you believe in your goals, it trains your mind and body to live them before they've actually manifested in the 3D. When the subconscious mind accepts your future as truth, your results unfold faster and with less resistance. Neural Energetic Encoding is a tool that changes your goal setting game forever. If you're interested in experiencing this amazing tool, click the link in the description or send me a message. I'd love to know what stood out to you after listening to this episode. Let me know in the comments below. Cheers to your success, my friend, and thank you so much for being here.